Good morning. My name is Peter Newmark. I'm here on behalf of my company, Classic Motor Cars Original. Delighted to welcome you here in partnership with our friends from the Design Museum for this, which is the opening event really of what will be a tremendous year to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the launch of this wonderful car, the Jaguar E-Type. It's my pleasure to introduce three personalities really. The car, Mr. John Surtees and Mr. Norman Dewis. Norman was the original test and development driver for Jaguar. Did all the test work on this car, and indeed on this particular car. In Jaguar folklore, he is a legend.
That's what they tell me.
And he'll tell you himself, if you've got 3 hours to listen, then Norman will tell you. Mr. John Surtees needs no introduction. He's one of my heroes. And the man who's ever won on 2 on 4 wheels world championships. Something that probably will never ever be repeated again.
Maybe.
And John got one of the early E-Types. John went to the factory, and we've just looked at some film footage in there that Jaguar took at the time of John going to Coventry in 1961 to collect his car. Some wonderful stuff. And the third personality is this car, 77RW, which is one of the original press cars. It's just come out of our workshops where we've done quite a lot of work on it. It's going to have a busy year this year. At the end of the month, it's driving down to Geneva to recreate the run that Norman did in 1961. Because when Jaguar launched the E-Type in 61 in a park in Geneva, the response to it was phenomenal. And Norman was out testing, I think, in this car.
This car, yeah.
And he got a call from Sir William Lyons saying, "Get down here." And he said, "Any truth in the rumour, Norman, that you drove from Coventry to Dover in 2 hours?"
Yep.
Yeah. And Coventry to Dover in 2 hours in this car, and he went overnight and arrived in Geneva, and he did a lot of press work.
11 hours to Geneva.
My particular company has been fortunate enough to do a lot of work on historic E-Types over the last few years. We restored the oldest E-Type in existence, the prototype, a few years ago. The car in the tank is an early car, it's 94, it's just had a full restoration. And right now we've got the first E-Type that was sold in England in the workshops, and we've got the last competition E-Type prepared by the factory in the workshops as well. So we feel very fortunate that we've been able to do all this work, and we're unbelievably busy right now with E-Types with the 50th celebration. And it seemed appropriate to us that if we could, we would like to mark what is an iconic British design in an appropriate place, and it seemed to us that there was no more appropriate than the Design Museum. Malcolm Sayer, the designer of this car, was an aerodynamist, and this is probably the first car that was designed mathematically. There were no computers, no CAD design, it's just all done by pure maths. But on every survey around the world that's conducted on E-Types, conducted on classic cars, the E-Type is always right up there. And it's still a beautiful design today. I suspect in 50 years' time it'll still be considered a design icon. It's the only car that the Metropolitan Museum in New York have in their collection as a design icon. And so we felt it was entirely appropriate that we as a company, putting so many of these cars through our workshops, should work with the Design Museum. This will be on display now for a month here, and we thank them for that. So that's enough from me. We'll ask Norman to say a few words, and then John. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to be with you all. Had a nice foggy trip down this morning, but this car, as you can see, is in better condition than where we turn about at Jaguar. Nice thanks to CMC for the work they've done and made a wonderful job. I had the pleasure of driving it non-stop from Coventry to Geneva when we launched it in 1961. And I got to be there for 10 o'clock the following morning, so I left Coventry at 8 o'clock at night, went straight down to Dover in 2 hours, got off at Ostend and then Ostend through to Brussels and then over to Geneva. Took 11 hours, I averaged 68 mile an hour for the average speed. You wouldn't do it today, even with a motorbase. It's too much traffic. So that gives you the basic of the journey that I did when it was launched. The car itself was the first unit construction based on aircraft principle, where you have a centre section tub, you have a subframe at the front and a subframe at the rear, and they are bolted on to the tub. So that was the principle that Sayer designed. I was with him, I used to do a lot of work with him in the wind tunnel and that before we got the final car. So as I say, Sayer had his own way of doing his design, and nobody's really come up with the conclusions of how he did his design. So on an 8-foot foolscap sheet, and they were all lines and perfect numbers and figures, but as I say, this is the icon of the shape that made Jaguar really into what it was in the sports cars industry. So this is it, nice car. Today, I mean even now, you take this car out anywhere, people will not walk by it, even if they're not interested in cars. They all slow down and look at it. To me it's like a lady, all the curves are in the right places, you know, it's perfect shape. So to me, this is the car, and let's hope we can have a good day today, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noel.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sing for my lunch or something. Yes. Well, I suppose after Norman had finished with it, it was given to persons, not given, but purchased to a rather new boy in motorsport. I'd only started in car racing in 1960 when I was in my first ever car race. And one of the first persons I met was Lofty England. Lofty was very famous for having been team manager of the successful Jaguar racing team when they won Le Mans. And Lofty was very much a muscle car. And he said, see how he's up. So I went to Coventry and I saw the car there, and in fact I used to film it, which was showing, and I looked around and thought, you never expect that sort of beautiful iconic design to come out of an English factory. You think a British factory, you think that must be Italian or something. But no, it set a new standard where even Enzo Ferrari, who I ended up driving for from 1963 onwards, for 3 years, turned around and said, it's beautiful. And that, I think, is something which it stood the test of time. I think that the unfortunate thing was that, like all British manufacturers at that time, it did have problems in that you could get a Friday car and such like, but just the same, its overall, and particularly with that superb six-cylinder engine, which after all was also supplemented by the 12-cylinder, six-cylinder engine, which had been the basis of that Le Mans win, had been sort of there to give you that performance, which was both at the very top end, but also allowed you to go along and just enjoy driving. An interesting sideline was that Norman's referred to the structure and how at the front, well, all the front and rear subframes were in fact that rather famous Renault 531 tubing, which of course used to be also the thing for bicycles, etc. And Anthony Reynolds of Reynolds Tube was a great friend and someone who'd worked with me on motorcycle frames. And perhaps it was a sign they didn't sell quite so many E-types as they'd hoped, that there was a lot of tube left over. And so when I went to build my first Formula 1 cars in 1969, the TS7 Formula 1 car, the bulkheads and subframes were in fact all made of square section tube, courtesy of Jaguar design and Reynolds 531.
very rather cheap.
And very good tune. And in fact, we're still restoring some of those cars today. But no, I think that what is always important to remember is that today is all built on the foundations of yesterday. And I think that Jaguar, having gone through all the various changes which have happened, have benefited from a superb iconic design, and also have gone on to produce cars which today are really superb and have many of the problems that we experienced at that time now sorted out. So it's a pleasure to be here, particularly this location, and around us we've got rebirth of documents, etc., which is, I think, very appropriate for this car in general.
Very well.